or two other things I just want to bring up when it talks about, when we talk about success in the first job. One of them is be on time.
Mm-hmm.
People who are not on time for meetings, showing up for work, whatever, repeatedly,
They're out.
it's a bad, bad sign. Most of the time I get there early.
Good morning, folks. It's in the morning. It could be evening for you. It could be 2 a.m. for you right now because you woke up in a cold sweat thinking about work.
You know what? I did have to get up last night in the middle of the night a couple times. Yeah, my wife she needed me to help her out. She was having some kind of a weird, it's almost like a diabetic reaction where she's got to have sugar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's related to long COVID.
Really?
Okay, yeah, but she mostly has it all under control now. So many different doctors and so many different things. But anyway, so yeah, we were up last night and I was doing some work at 2.
Hell yeah.
And then at 5 and at 6. I think I got out of my jammies by maybe 7:30.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had to get dressed, had to drop my computer off at Megabyte. Should be a sponsor of this show, by the way.
Speaking of sponsors.
Megabyte Computer Center in Rogers.
Right.
And then they provide IT support to SY Group. And then had a meeting with one of my former students who's a woman entrepreneur, just doing so many things. That just blows me away.
That's awesome.
She is something else. Getting ready to start a new development project, she is.
Right.
Very exciting concept for what they're going to do.
Just going and getting it, huh?
Just making it happen.
Yeah, man.
Just
digging it.
Making it happen, reaching out, doing it.
Yep.
Not fooling around. Advancing, moving ahead.
That's right, man. Hearing the word no and keep going. That's all it takes, man.
It does. It really does. It's just so much of entrepreneurship is action versus planning.
Yeah. No, it was. I was actually having a meeting this morning with another entrepreneur, and I would say that he was, we can at times even, as entrepreneurs start believing in the greater theories that are put out there in business.
Those being like
there's like some specific way to do something, or that you should work your way out of your business, and blah blah blah, all these other types of things. And then but you get confused, and because you knew at one time you dogged it out, worked relentlessly.
Yeah.
And then you grow the company, and then you start kind of feeling like there's this pattern that you need to go by because you're in more uncharted territory. And then you start losing a grip on stuff, and you're like, well, how do I advance? It's the same. It's always the same answer.
Yeah, get back in the trenches.
Just work harder.
Yeah.
I always tell my team, you can work harder, you can work longer, you can work smarter, you can work faster.
How about do all
better?
4?
Yeah.
5.
Do all
5. Yeah.
That's the answer.
Exactly.
It's always the answer.
It's not one, it's like, I work smarter. I don't want to work harder. How about work smarter and harder?
And then you're faster.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah. I like the, like we hear some of the big entrepreneurs out there, the real famous ones, they're like, they calculate it. If I work 60 hours a week, over the year's time, I've worked another half year than you. If I've worked 80, I've done the same amount you have. In 1 year, I've done 2 times more than you.
Exactly.
You compound that over 5 years. Like I've worked an extra 5 years than you have in 5 years.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference.
It's really true. It's funny. I remember Dale Carlton, who's my real estate broker, and he's also an attorney. He's done every transaction I've ever done here in Northwest Arkansas. I did with Dale. He's a really good friend, too. But he likes to tell the story about when he was going through law school, and he was working for Lindsay. And Jim Lindsay calls him in his office and says, "Hey, Dale, how's it going?" He goes, "Going good." He goes, I just wanted to check up on you. And he goes, "You think you can make it working in this business half time?" And Dale's like, "Well, I'm working a lot while I go to school or whatever." And Jim's like, he goes, "Yeah, and 84 hours a week. There's only so much you can get done half time." 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's his definition of halftime, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, no wonder Jim Lindsay ended up, today they've got like 50,000 apartment units. I mean, it's mind-boggling. But hey, we got to come out with the introduction.
Yeah.
We haven't done it yet. This is another episode of Big Talk about small business. And today, we've got a really good topic. Of course, you and I start talking about before we get in this room. And it's hard to save it because we're so excited about it. How to find success in your first job.
It's pretty easy. Work.
I mean, I really think this is critical.
I'm going to bust out some of these Sour Patch Kids while we're talking. Is that okay?
Okay, be my guest. Yeah.
Yeah, they have an office right above us here.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Is that the brand?
It's the brand.
Is it Sour Patch brand?
Yeah. They're
not like owned by Nestle or something.
I don't know. I don't know who actually owns them. I mean, that tells you on the back. I can't read.
It says it's distributed by Mondelez Global.
Okay, Mondelez. Yeah, so their office is right above us.
It's an engineered food. It contains a bioengineered food ingredient.
Hey.
I don't know, is that good?
Hell, I can tell you it tastes great.
It does.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's great. We're going to plug Sour Patch Kids.
I love Sour Patch Kids. They're so good.
They are. I love all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not being a big drinker or anything. I got to get my sugar some other way.
You gotta have
You're the same way.
Yeah, I don't drink much.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. So we get it through the candy.
All the other stuff.
Some of my favorite I love like snow caps.
Yeah.
Do you like those?
Oh yeah.
Those are so good. Sugar babies.
Yeah. Fantastic. All of it's so good.
It's all good. I was in the McBride distributing box here at the Razorback game this weekend, and they had Starburst in there. I was just shoveling those things in. I was like the only guy, I'm the only one. They're all drinking their Anheuser-Busch products.
Right. And you're just killing it.
Starburst.
Getting yourself in a sugar coma, just ruining your body is great.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Ready to level up your show? At podcastvideos.com, we offer industry-leading recording and expert marketing to help your show reach more listeners. From creation to distribution, we've got you covered. Visit podcastvideos.com and elevate your podcast today.
So anyway, though, let's get it back. We don't need to talk about my horrible diet, which always comes up in these shows.
Yeah, it does.
Let's talk about how to find success in your first job. What advice do you give young people when you've got kids, they've got friends, you have young people working for you who are still students? What do you tell them?
Man, I'll tell you the first thing is to kind of wake up. This is legitimately, even talking to my kids, there is this overarching idea that there's a proper way to go into the workforce that we've been taught for so long and it's been patterned, and I think that it's absolutely the most detrimental to people that want to be successful, because you think that you have to qualify your way up to being great or successful, that you have to.
What do you mean by that?
Like you have to follow a very specific process, or that it takes a significant amount of time, or that you're, and then when you come in, like, what are your expectations? Like, what is a good job? That's one of the big problems. Number one, this expectation of what's a good job. Well, a good job, and the way that you're going to be successful in life is that you go work for a really good company. And that really good company is a good company because they have benefits and they have all these, they have insurance and 401ks and IRAs and all these types of things that they match, and great health care plan. Great.
I never thought about
security.
Any of that in any job I ever had.
No, I haven't either.
Okay, I'll be honest.
I haven't
with
either.
You.
And actually,
never even occurred to me.
I didn't even have health care until probably my mid-30s.
Wow.
Number one.
I never went without it, ever.
Well, health insurance.
Yeah, I understand.
I did not have a savings. I didn't have $1 in savings until I was 45.
Sure. That doesn't shock me.
Yeah, I mean,
If you had any money, you're going to deploy. You're only going to live on what you need to, and you're going to deploy the rest in a way that hopefully makes you money.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So as a business owner,
Yeah,
that's always one of my. It's like you should have 6 months worth of operating capital or living expenses or whatever. It's totally unrealistic. If I had 6 months worth of money sitting there, I'm going to deploy it in a way I make more money.
100%. And I think that if you're like, and you don't have to be necessarily an entrepreneur, right? I think that like if you're reinvesting in yourself, you're advancing yourself. Like if you did make good money, like can you invest that, and how do you improve and get better at your own career and your own career path? Whether that's learning, going to more trade shows, whatever it is that takes or more networking and more. I mean, like there's so much you can do.
Or taking your money and investing it in real estate, or investing it in classic cars that go up in value, or whatever you're into. Yeah.
Just keep pouring it in.
Yeah.
Because and I think that a lot of folks that I have seen, and in my kids too, this mentality that when you go to a job, they owe you something.
Yeah, no, they don't owe you anything.
The problem is that they think that, and then the company a lot of times thinks that they owe you, and they were going to try to, but that kind of eliminates the whole success ambition, and it disguises success into being successful is that you have a job that you show up to at 9 and you leave at 5 and you take an hour lunch break and you get 45-minute break here, and then there's a great culture and you can take PTO and you can take holiday and long extended paternity times and great health care plans and a good savings account. All these things wind up to be what a success looks like, and all the while you're going to cap yourself.
Those are tethers in a way.
Yeah,
they're saying they kind of hold you down.
They hold you down instead of walking in with the mentality of like, I don't care. Success to me is an opportunity.
Right.
And so if I go into this job, is it an opportunity? Can I see that this is where I want to invest myself into?
Yeah.
And not looking and expecting some payback, being that I get PTO or I get another salary raise, but how can I invest into that to where I can see myself growing and becoming successful?
Sure.
And so I think that that's a stumbling block, because to be honest with you, here's the problem I see. A company like mine that's a really startup phase, it's in an innovative space, like you're trailblazing.
Right.
If you want to be successful, this is the place to be.
Sure, I agree. You said it. I mean, you started out with sort of the conventional wisdom on what a good company is.
Yeah.
To me, a good company is a growth company.
Yes.
Okay. The higher the growth rate, the better it is. And the reason for that is, I'm going to get a chance to do jobs as an employee in that company I'd never get if I work somewhere else.
Right.
Okay. Why? Because the needs are expanding. All right. They can't pigeonhole me into doing one little micro thing. Mm-hmm. There's 10,000 different things. There's new things that are emerging every day that give me an opportunity as an employee to step up. Okay?
That's it. And I'll say another thing to that.
Yep.
The visibility of value is instantaneous and recognizable. By not only your boss and your peers, but the community, the people, the clients that you serve. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if you try to do that at a bigger organization that you thought was a successful job, being in a big company, you get put into the mix, and you're in like this whole idea of being valued and feeling valued. That's why a lot of the younger generation they have problems with fitting into that, because they don't feel that value, because it's hard to be recognized when you're in part of such a big group. But a small company, but they can't take the big group benefits and try to apply it to a startup.
Right.
Where they can get a lot of recognition, a lot of value they can see.
Well, and they're dealing with the owner directly a lot of times, and the founder.
Yeah.
The owner is so much different than somebody who's a manager working for another manager, working for another manager, working for another manager. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're so insulated from the top people and the decision making.
I'll tell you, here's a case in point. Let's take my company right now. If I have a team member that goes and brings success to this company, monetarily,
Right.
I will directly reward that.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
And if they keep bringing it, I'll keep bringing it back.
Sure.
100%. The problem is that's the cloud I'm talking about. Because I feel like a lot of the team, in most circumstances that I've experienced in my life, they don't believe that. Because they think that they put a governor, is a good analogy, they put a governor on themselves somewhere along the way that if you don't ever put out more than what you receive.
Yeah, that's not the way it goes.
It's not, but I think that's the problem.
Well, and you know what? That it's sort of that attitude manifests itself in this need for a quote job description. Okay, because then I'll do what's in my job description, and if I do that, then I'm doing a great job.
Right.
Okay, whereas we all know. That's not a great job. Is going above and beyond. It's reaching out. It's taking on new things. It's solving problems that maybe weren't in your domain.
That's right.
Okay, so I hate job descriptions. I'll be honest with you. I've worked with a lot of people though as employees who want job descriptions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them want them.
I mean, and I can see the side of it. Well, people need to know like what they're responsible for. But that's a minimum expectation.
Yeah.
That's not the maximum expectation is fulfilling your job description at all. Your opportunity as an employee is going above and beyond that. I never really wanted to have a job description.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I don't
You put me in a box.
Exactly. I don't want to be put in a box. I've got I can contribute to a lot of things. Okay.
Anytime you talk to me, I'm contributing.
Yeah, I mean, at least I think I can.
I'm trying to.
Right. Do I not know anything about that? It's not going to stop me. Okay.
Oh, hell no. I'm going to contribute.
But so I think what you're saying, though, it sort of all goes in concert. Defining a box, letting the strings of the benefits and the working hours and all that.
Yeah.
It sets up a lot of constraints.
Not investing more, not pouring more in.
Yeah.
Unless you are being compensated for that investment. But you can't do that.
A lot of people listening to this, maybe they're younger people, they're like, oh yeah, here again, it's the man, okay? The man wants to exploit me.
Right.
To get me to do things that I'm not getting paid for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything else. It's like a relationship. It's not all transactional.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
It's not I do this, you give me that. It's maybe I extend myself to somebody as a friend.
Yeah.
And help them out, and lo and behold, then we are friends, and then they help me. Think about your boss and your employer kind of the same way.
100%, man.
Isn't it? It's
100%.
Not a direct linear thing.
No.
Who's going to put out first?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Who
No, it's 100% it. And I think, and it's funny how fearful we are to do that. I think that the fear is of being taken advantage of.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's that's at the core of it. This fear I'll be exploited.
Yes.
Again, pop culture
Treated
works against
unfairly.
us.
Yes.
Look at how bosses are portrayed in movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
They're idiots. They expect people to do things that are completely unreasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the employee rebels against that, or they conform, or whatever, and are unhappy.
Yeah.
It's sort of how it's portrayed in culture. There's a natural suspicion that people have for their boss or their employer.
And the
it's
reality
unfortunate.
is, I've worked around and near and with some extremely, some high up executives to senior level folks at some major companies.
Yeah, you have.
And I can tell you, there is one common thread that I've seen across all those folks. They are relentlessly hard workers.
Yeah.
Like, they're all in. And so maybe there is a difference between those folks that are there in those higher positions than the folks that are not in those higher positions, because the ones that are not in the higher positions are not going to invest like those people have.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Doug McMillon, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think Doug McMillon got to be CEO of Walmart by being a guy who defined how much he works? I guarantee you there's no possible way. Okay?
Yeah.
There's no possible, and how people could say, well, that's wrong. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it? I mean, look at how successful he's been. Look at what he can do for his family. Look at what he can do for the community. Look at all the ways they get back. I mean, all the jobs that depend on, all the jobs created by their success as a company, all the companies they help out who are their suppliers. I mean, it just goes down the line.
They have every day.
Yeah, it just goes down. So, yeah, I mean, let's go back to this though. Success in the first job. I hear a lot of this. Of course, I've got students, and my students are generally juniors and seniors that are getting ready to graduate. Mm-hmm. And so I always tell them two things to start with, okay, just to sort of step away from this for a minute. And it was kind of reinforced. Last night I had Gary Head as a speaker, and you know Gary. He's founder of Signature Bank and chairman.
He's been on the show before.
Been on the show. And Gary understands that, you know, a great deal of his success was based on the relationships he had.
Yeah.
Like he knew Sam Walton, and he worked for Jim Walton, and J.B. Hunt was his friend, and Don Tyson, you know, all these people that he knew, part of his network, and many, many, many more are a big part of the reason why he was successful. Now, he grew up in this area, and he stayed here his whole life, okay? So my point is, when people ask me for my advice, the thing I say to them is, think about where you want to live.
That's right.
And go there.
That's right.
Because the sooner you start establishing relationships there, the better off you're going to be. Okay.
Huge advantage.
Huge advantage. And then couple that with what industry you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing there. The relationships, they may be international, but you know, an industry is like a community in itself, right? Mm-hmm. So go where you want to live, get into the industry that you want to be part of. Don't worry so much about what your role is.
100%.
Get in there and start learning about that industry and see where you fit, see what things you can do. If you do that, I mean, I never had to switch industries in my career. I mean, I have later. I never had to, though. I've always had this primary thing, of course, working with architects and engineers. All right? And so, you know, I was lucky because every time you change industries, you step back.
100%.
Every time you relocate, you step back. You lose a lot of network that could be beneficial. Bankers, lawyers, friends.
Yep.
Okay? So that's what first thing I say is go where you want to live. I don't care how expensive it is. You'll survive there when you got nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
I mean, I told a student of mine, he's like, I really like to be in LA or whatever. I'm like, go there.
Yeah.
You know, find 3 other dudes and rent a shitty apartment, and live cheap and do your thing in LA, get established.
Invest yourself into the place.
Exactly. So, you know, that's where I think it starts, is the location and the industry. Now, what's it going to take to be successful? Then we start looking at what kind of, you know, we want to be in the industry, we want to be in this location. Now we look for the companies that are the high growth companies. I oftentimes advise my students to do things like get the local business journal lists out.
Yeah.
Start looking at what companies they're talking about. Who are the best? Like I had a student, he wants to be a real estate agent. Who's the best real estate agent in Northwest Arkansas? There's a list put out by the Northwest Arkansas Business Journal. See if you can intern with them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you learn something from that?
Yes.
Instead of like, well, there's an internship listed in the Career Center to go to work for this firm. Now they're 50th in the ranking of real estate firms in the area, but that's where the listing is. Forget that. Yeah. Bypass all that.
Yeah.
So look for the growth organization. Now you're there, okay? Now what you're saying is work your ass off.
Yeah. Invest yourself.
Yeah.
Because here's what I would say. I remember in college, I would work at the Jonesboro Sun, and I worked at this other photo studio lab.
Yep.
And I worked for free. I went and I got on a regular schedule. I'd spend 3 or 4 hours a day there.
Sure.
But I did it because I was wanting to learn
Exactly.
and get better.
Yeah.
You don't look, I think one of the big problems, and I see it, is like, oh, I can do that. How much am I going to get paid for that?
Yeah. That's not the point.
I know, but I think that that's the looming problem with a lot of folks,
Sure
right?
it is.
That
I
they
agree.
and they block their own success because they're looking. They have taught themselves, and they put this expectation on themselves that they're going to get taken advantage of if they work for free. No,
Right.
you're taking you are actually one in the driver's wheel. You're taking advantage of the company
Yeah.
when you go in there and you learn.
Yeah, they don't necessarily want to spend time with you.
No.
I mean, it's a hassle for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think there's also that conception too, misconception of where if you're starting out in a job, like the employer not only pays you money, but they invest their time into you and resources. A lot of people have no perspective. Like if I hire somebody and they come and work with me for a month or even 6 months and then they leave,
That's a big cost.
it
to
is a
business.
huge cost.
Sure
man.
it is.
And they
You
can't
lost.
but if you don't
Yeah.
have that respect or that awareness, like whenever if I came to you for a job, and I was like you said, I was gonna stay here. I'm interested in your industry,
Yeah.
and you're an industry veteran,
Right.
And I'm gonna learn from you.
Right.
Then I am going to invest my time, and I'm gonna soak it up. It's the I think one of the best things that really tie this. We don't do it anymore, but our apprenticeships.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Like back in the day, that's what you did.
You're absolutely right.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really. Well, that's one of the things unions do. Actually, people are like union construction bad or whatever. They provide apprenticeships.
Yeah.
To people. So if I want to be a carpenter, and I'm a union carpenter, I've got to go through an apprenticeship where I get trained by somebody who actually knows what they're doing, and that is a valuable function. You're right. I mean, but again. I think you've hit the nail on the head, and we didn't even talk about this before we got in this room. The distrust that exists, the I'm being exploited culture.
Yeah. The company's the bad person.
Yes, they're evil, they're greedy, they want to exploit me and use me. And if that's your basic attitude, you're sunk.
Yeah, you won't be successful.
You will not be successful.
Now that you say that,
Yeah.
I have yet to meet in all my entire career anybody, anyone that's had that type of mentality that has achieved any level of success. More or less has really found themselves in a stable scenario. Most of the times they're like the ones that I have experienced like that, they don't last long at positions and jobs.
That's true.
They bounce around, they lose their network, they lose their connections. They think that they're doing like they're doing the rest of their peers a favor, but they really don't. They're toxic, they're negative,
Yeah.
and they just spread that around, and they cannot shake it. And the older you get, and you don't check yourself on that, the less chances you're going to have at success unless you have some sort of major revelation one day.
It's interesting. This morning when I was up early, I got onto Glassdoor.
Yeah.
Because, I get these emails from Glassdoor.
Yeah.
You ever look at that?
Yeah. For the employee feedback or
Yeah, it's employee feedback on companies, but they have there's all kinds of other stuff in there where people put questions and then other people respond. And there was somebody on there who was talking about the fact that the company they worked for did not use the pronouns that they wanted for them. They wanted to be called they, them.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of he or she. And the boss doesn't do that.
Right.
And that was a great sign of disrespect. And then it's a bad place to work.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And, I could say, okay, I understand that point of view, but truthfully, I think that's BS.
Yeah.
Okay? Give the boss might be an older person. Maybe they don't understand, the variations of gender on the scale, whatever it is, okay? That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean they don't respect you as an individual. It's just not part of what they do. So what am I going to do? Completely judge them and say, now it's not a good place to work because they don't call me they?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just cut yourself off now.
You have.
From an opportunity because you can't get past that as an individual, okay?
You ever heard of the term confirmation bias?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting when you become aware of that.
Oh, it's a real problem. It's a big deal.
I feel like that what you're talking about is having
You're right,
confirmation bias.
Yeah, it's like they're bad because they do that. People who do that are bad.
People that, a lot of times folks walk into companies looking for how they're going to get screwed over.
Yeah.
How they're going to be mistreated.
Yes.
And that is so...
And then they find examples of it.
Oh, 100%. Or they hear of somebody that has an example of it. And then it's off to the races. I think what we're trying to say to folks here, if you're listening to this show and you're wanting to be successful, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. What is your mentality? What is your vision? What's your purpose and your intent of when and where you're going to go work and why you're there? Because if you're going in and you already have a mentality that companies are mostly screw people over,
right?
Companies don't care about their people. Owners are super money hungry, greedy folks.
Yep.
The managers and top level managers got there because of some sort of favoritism.
Yeah, they're good ass kissers. Not because they're good at what they do.
They know somebody, whatever it might be.
Right. Yeah.
And then you're walking in because you've been told that a good company will get you a 401k match plus paid time holidays and all these other benefits. And if they don't have that, don't accept that because there's something better for you out there.
Oh, dude, man, you're really painting a picture.
If you walk into your professional life like that, here's the saddest thing about it, Mark. I honestly, out of a lot of the folks that I've met in my career, a lot of people have that mentality. I would say overwhelming majority of people come into work that mentality. The saddest thing is that I would say the majority of those people don't realize that they even have that mentality.
I think you're right.
And they are therefore self-sabotaging themselves.
My first boss out of grad school was a guy named Mike Lattice. He constantly had all these homilies and stories that he told over and over and over. You talk about a guy who was repetitive. Mike was probably the most repetitive person. If I talk with anybody I work with in 1980, they'll start spouting these things back 45 years later. But Mike Lattice used to love to tell this story about somebody who's interviewing with a company, and the interviewer asked that person, like, well, how did you like your last job? Or how did you like your last boss? My last job sucked, My boss was an ass, never really appreciated what I did, yada, yada, yada. And the manager's like, you'll find that we're pretty much the same. Okay?
Yeah.
Then somebody else comes in. How did, what did you like about your last? It was great. They were really nice people. They seemed like they cared about me. They gave me an opportunity to do stuff that I wouldn't have gotten had I been somewhere else. And the manager says, well, you'll probably find this place is like that.
Exactly the same.
It's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. It's because it's what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, it's you control this so much more than you realize.
100%. Because man, when I look at a company, it is literally just. Maybe it took some time for me to see this. I guess the older I got, but a company's nothing other than a bunch of people that are working together for a common goal, trying to achieve something, right?
Yeah.
And if there's a broken link in any of that, it stalls progress.
Of course it does. It's a team. You're only as good as the weakest teammate.
And it's just like it's so bad. Like we're just like, but if you can, in the most occasions there's only a few percentage of the people that are really driving and carrying the weight of this other negative perspectives.
That's true. Now, I'm not going to say you can't go to work for a bad company. There
No,
are
no,
some out there
100%.
that are bad places to work, okay?
100%.
So you got to make a change.
And it was a lot different in the late 1880s.
Yeah.
Or the 1800s, right?
You got to make a change. Okay, that's
It's the
okay.
dangers.
Or if you find that you're not, if you could have multiple experiences and you find that they don't meet your needs or whatever, you can always start your own business,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
You know, nobody's stopping you from that
Yeah.
if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, but you should be able to align yourself with what you said. I love that pathway. Where do you want to live? What industry you want to be in? Look at the growing companies.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then
put out without expectation.
without expectations. And then
With
I would say
immediate payoff.
And another thing to that is like invest the time that it takes. Of
course.
This isn't a microwave world, right? The instant gratification doesn't come. Like I know in my lifetime, it took a while for me to get to where I was even taken seriously when I meet with a client. More or less
sure.
really getting paid well for it.
Right.
And I think we all started that way. It's just like the
Absolutely.
apprentice thing, right? A lot of people think that they can just step into a career.
Yeah, because they have a degree or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I liken it to, it's the same thing like you want to be successful and get the most out of your education if you're at college.
Yeah.
You can go to class, do your work, and get grades, right? That's one way to do it. Or you could say, I'm going to go listen to this guest speaker. I'm going to sit in on my buddy's class because he's talking about his professor has really got, something going on. I'm going to do these internships that I don't get paid for. Like I have one student, he sought me out as a freshman.
Yeah.
I've never been my student. He's a senior now. He's had 6 internships with companies in different places in the country.
Hungry.
VCs, private equity, banks, all right? His experience now
Is this the guy? Did I meet him
fantastic.
just like recently? Did you connect me with him?
I may have.
Yeah, I just met with somebody that
I-
was one of your students. That
Yeah. Are you talking about big tall guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
Hungry.
He's I mean, he is going to be very successful. But I'm just saying, so his experience, when he looks back on it, he could have somebody else that they went to class, they got their degree,
100%.
boom. His so far ahead.
Yeah, I got this degree. I'm owed this, and this is what my professor said that I need to be making, and
Right.
this is the way the ship moves. Versus somebody like that. It reminds me when I was in college and I found the industry that I love. Like, dude, I just spent all my time in the dark room developing
Right.
images.
Yeah,
And
that's what
printing
that was your passion.
It was what I was doing.
Yeah.
Man. And then I was talking to the lab technician. I was talking to the newspaper, editors. I was talking to everybody. I was hungry.
Yeah, and then
Hungry.
you integrated that with your interest in outdoor activities, and you ended up with a magazine with photography and dealing with outdoor activities, right?
Yeah, I was just intrigued, and I knew everybody in that college. Everybody
of
knew
course.
who I was. I've invested myself.
Right.
And you know what's crazy is that you and I, some old timers here, when we find somebody like that student you're just talking about, or we find somebody that works with us, I got quite a few of them here at my company, fortunately. I mean, it is the most rewarding, gratifying, encouraging thing that I can have is to have some of my teammates that are hungry, that are pushing forward. And it's
Amen.
not just it is not just about me getting paid. It's about seeing
It
them
gives
grow.
me hope.
Yes.
It gives me hope.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. Like, I look at my students, so let's just say that guy's in the minority,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're not all like that.
Right.
Most of them aren't. Some are, though. The few that are, that's what motivates me. Okay? That's what gets me excited. So, seeing that,
why I'm motivated? It's because you know what? You have a high confidence that they're going to be what?
Successful. Exactly.
And so therefore I don't want to invest my time into something that's unfruitful and unsuccessful.
It is.
But I'm
It's
happy. That's the what do you call it? That's the inertia. That's the
virtuous cycle. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you start demonstrating your desire for success, people start pouring in success
yes.
to you. They want to see you because the more that it's compounding interest.
Of course it is. So let's talk about some other things that people could do to be successful in their first job.
Well, can we go back to the job description thing real quick?
Okay,
Because I do
sure.
have a point with that. Like,
Yeah.
I think that one of the other big problems with the job descriptions, I feel like that it is a written, formalized documentation, and even legal, that can say that wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem. It's like, hey, look, this whole thing crashed down, but my job description, as you can see, I did that.
Yeah.
And I went to my quarterly review, and my boss said, according to what I was hired to do in my description, said I was doing a good job. So therefore,
it's your fault.
It's not
mine.
it's your fault,
Right.
and I had nothing to do with that problem.
Right.
That is so non-successful mentality. Like that is
You're right.
self-protection. That is isolation. I mean, it's everything opposite of teamwork and camaraderie and tribal mentality of winning together.
Yes.
It's bad. And so I think that if you're looking for a job and you want a really good job description because somebody told you that's what you're supposed to do to be successful in some sort of class, or some peer told you that, be very cautious of that, because really, to your point, don't put me in a box. I'm coming out I'm going to eat anything that I can.
I'm going to help any way I can.
Any way that I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so my title, like really my title should be kind of my understanding, my minimal job description. If I'm hired into the sales department and I'm a sales associate, then I need to sell.
Right.
But I also need to take care of the customer. I also need to shoot more emails for marketing.
I may be giving the product people advice on what my customers are telling me they want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the person is like, oh, it's not my job description. That's your problem, parts people.
I hear you.
They're not going to be successful. We're not talking about good people. We're not talking about you not making a living. We're talking about if you want to be successful.
Yes, and that means you're accelerating at a faster rate.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at a few other things. And again, at the risk of being repetitive, being responsive is so critical.
Yeah.
So I work in a company where I'm one of the investors, and I'm involved in a daily basis with it. And I have somebody who reports to me in my functional job there, who is extremely capable, technically, understands what we're trying to do as a company on a macro level, and yet does not respond promptly to emails or texts.
That's not good, huh?
It's the most frustrating thing in the world. It may be the thing that makes me look for somebody else, to be honest, unless that can be addressed. Because in business, things move fast. And if you're going to be a good business, you need to be responsive to everybody inside and outside the organization. And when you don't respond, to me, that is disrespectful, and it makes you a bad teammate because we're relying on that.
Yeah.
Okay?
It stumbles progress.
Exactly. So quick response, to me, it's like if you shift out on Friday and you don't look at your email all weekend, even though you're not, quote, paid to work on the weekend, you're not going to be on the fast track in my book. I'm sorry if that makes me sound horrible.
No, I don't think it makes you sound
I really am. Or if you're on vacation, I'll say the same thing.
Like,
shifting out completely.
But I think that statement about the weekends, the vacations, is again some sort of social cloud, an expectation that people have developed that is not is not in the vein of success. There's a difference between being successful and having a job that you make your ends meet.
It's so true.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. I mean, I guess some people do, maybe.
Like, I don't know who. I don't know of anybody.
I don't know who they are.
I mean, maybe some, like if you're an heir to some sort of fortune, but I mean, but that's But that's like so small and few in between. And by the way, most of those folks don't really like I don't know how that a lot of them end up superbly gratified.
Or no kidding. I mean, it's true. They're not.
And there's some that take that response. Like we've seen them around our area that take that opportunity and turn it into something that's extremely contributing to everyone else.
Well, the Lewis boys, 4th generation. I mean, believe me. I mean, Matt Lewis
works like a dog, man.
That dude is a driven dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he made it happen.
He does, okay? and he contributes, right? And I mean, it's such a huge deal.
Yeah, it's only I think like 3 or 4% of companies make it to the 4th generation family businesses.
Yeah,
the rest don't. But yeah, so being responsive, I think that's really critical. Another thing I do think is critical is learning to be a good communicator.
Yeah,
right. Whether it's verbally or in writing.
Mm-hmm.
People judge you on that. Are you succinct? Are you clear? Or do you put out emails that everybody goes, what the heck does this say?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got to master these soft skills.
Can we?
Okay.
I want to talk about that real quick. I mean, there is something really simple to that.
Okay.
And I've realized that a lot of folks don't practice this very simple technique. And maybe I learned it in journalism because I was in journalism school.
But you remember the gunning fog index?
Huh?
Where you'd run it on your writing and it would tell you what grade level it was? And we were supposed to write somewhere around the 8th or 9th grade level? Anyway, you could take any writing and analyzes it for like how long are your sentences, how many syllables are in your words.
What did you call it?
Gunning fog index. They taught us that.
Gunning fog index.
GFI in journalism school.
Oh yeah, no, I never heard of that.
Anyway, I didn't mean to jump on you, but journalism does teach you to write succinctly as opposed to like English.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Totally different.
But I think what it taught me though, and maybe even English, is just reread what you wrote before you just freaking send it.
No kidding.
That is so simple.
It is.
It's the simplest thing in the world. And I've trained to some folks that would send me an email, and I'm like, or copy me and include a client. And I'm like, man, you need to reread. Like a simple.
You're right.
Read over what you just wrote would have prevented that ignorant mistake that now makes us look incompetent to a client that's trying to pay us money.
And makes you look incompetent as the author.
100%.
Right? People judge you is
100%.
is the moral of the story. Based on how you write.
Yep.
And how you communicate, okay? Or if you just constantly misuse the language.
Yep.
You may be extremely intelligent, but you don't come off that way.
Right.
And, people are very judgmental. Let's face it. It's just the reality of it.
Just human nature.
It is.
Like we've been communicating since day one.
Yeah.
That's like our fundamental.
We grunted. Maybe we gestured.
But the way that you grunt and how you look when you grunt makes a big deal.
Right.
But I mean, like we're always going to be that way. And whenever you're in a meeting, or like knowing when to speak and when not to speak, and how to speak and what to say and how much to say and how much not to say, all those things like in all those communication things are areas that you need to practice.
That's a learned
study.
Yes,
ask questions.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's a great example. In my own experience, I had some mentors who gave me feedback. Now, why did I have mentors?
Because you were looking for them?
I was looking for them, and I demonstrated I was worth mentoring. I listened. I took their advice, okay, and tried to apply it. I mean, I can just remember the first board meetings I was in the third company I worked in post-grad school. I mean, I'd been out there for a while, right? I had 2 other jobs, responsible jobs. I'm successful. The guy who was executive vice president of the company, it's one of the larger shareholders. I'll never forget. We had a board meeting afterward. He calls me in. Hey, Mark, it's that everybody's gone. We're still there, of course. Yeah. I'm putting my FaceTime in. I can admit it, all right? Because that was important to them. He goes, Mark, come on in, sit down. Shut the door. If you ever do that again, it's so dumb. Okay? That guy is going to hate you the way you treated him and work against you.
Yeah.
Okay? And then after he rails, like, how's Sue doing? Everybody okay? You know what I mean? Have a good night. He gave me the honest feedback I needed to change my communication style to not alienate somebody. Okay, which is a critical element in my ultimate success or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So the mentors are critical.
You did the same thing for me, and a couple things I can remember just off the top of my head when it comes to communication. Number one, I remember one time I had given you something when you were my direct report. I gave you some financials about an event or something or marketing plan. And you immediately was like, hey, redo this. You cannot center justified numbers on a spreadsheet. They all must be right justified. And you're like, if you don't do that, it's confusing. I can't follow the numbers down. But ever since then, I've always right justified, and it's made all my communication skills from that time period when I'm communicating any kind of number or budget. It's made it so much better and more confident. I don't look like an idiot. And recently, not too long ago, I saw somebody do some centered justifications on their numbers, and I'm like, God, what an idiot.
The decimals got to line up, dude.
They got to line up. And the other thing is like we're writing marketing copy one time, and you really taught me like the difference in using bullet point, like short sentences to articulate a point, in the marketing comms. And I've taken that with me in every form of communication. I mean, even emails or anything. If I email an exec, I know it'll be really short to the point. And you know what? A 150 word email is about 100 times harder than writing some long email.
Oh, it is. Yeah, no question. Being concise takes time. It really does.
It's crazy.
Do you remember, though, in journalism school, they taught us clarity and brevity?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was just pounded into, because I went through journalism, too.
Yeah.
Same as you. But, again, back on mentors, and your mentor may be your direct supervisor, or maybe it's not. But the point, everybody wants to have a mentor. I get called by students all the time, will you mentor me, or whatever. But if they don't listen... then it doesn't, after a while, it's like, it's not worth it. I don't expect you to do every single thing I tell you.
Right.
Some things aren't going to be like a strict order. It might just be, if you thought about this, or this is a suggestion.
Dude, speaking of, this all falls back in line with being successful, right? There has been lots of people that I've, quote unquote, I have mentored, or that are looking, and there's certain folks that I just won't even go have coffee with anymore because it's a complete waste of my time.
Exactly.
Because they have demonstrated nothing other than victimization, negativity.
Yes.
And they're like lost puppies.
Yes.
In a world that's beating them up, and they're sad about it. And they want to know my advice on how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I give them the same thing every time.
But they don't listen.
Harder.
Yeah. They don't listen.
They don't listen. And so, I feel like that people that, there has been one person, I can't say that one, but there's one I remember that always sticks in my brain, this guy. He took mentorship to its maximum. The dude would sit there, he would ask for a mentor meeting, he would listen to you, come prepared with questions.
Right. Write down what
and
you're
he'd
saying.
write down what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I would, lo and behold, the dude would turn around the next day and be acting upon it and grow. And it was the most beautiful thing.
It is. It's like,
And I would hire him in a second.
Exactly. It's like, I've got students, right? And, some of them reach out and they want help or advice or input. And then I've got other people who aren't even my students who seek me out. Last night I had, one of the reasons why they have me over there at the Walton College is I spend a lot of time with my students, and not just my students, other students who reach out. I had this guy, he came to our meeting, he had freaking like 4 pages of notes. I met him at our Walton College block party a couple weeks before.
Yeah.
He had 4 pages of questions. He's writing everything down. He's setting up follow-up meetings. I'm giving him numbers and names of people to call, okay?
Yeah.
And it's like, that guy, I know that guy's going to be successful.
100%.
That's all I can say is I know that guy's going to be successful.
And here's the thing, like we kind of mentioned it earlier, but if you find somebody like that and they're starting their career, whatever, you're going to reach out to your connections because you can entrust that person
is going to represent me well.
Exactly.
I'm not going to waste their time.
And so that's the momentum of the success mentality.
You're right.
Versus, would you send somebody to me that's always talked to you about what it's like to have a really successful job at a big company, making $175,000 when you start working, having paid time off, and you want to make sure you got all the benefits and all these things in place, like this expectation.
Or I want to be self-employed because I really like golf and I want to spend all my time in the golf course. It's like, no. It ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I think and one other thing I think when we're trying to or two other things I just want to bring up when it talks about when we talk about success in the first job. One of them is be on time.
Mm-hmm.
People who are not on time for meetings, showing up for work, whatever, repeatedly,
they're out.
It's a bad sign. Most of the time I get there early.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I mean, just yesterday again with the guy I told you about, he got there like 15 minutes early. I was there like 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
We're both early.
Yeah.
Good sign.
Yeah.
And the other thing is networking within the organization that you work in. You cannot just rely on your boss.
That's right.
You've got to have relationships with other people. Now, there will be the negative people in the business or organization who say, oh, Eric's just an ass kisser, brown noser, whatever. That's why he's over there talking to the boss's boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid.
It is stupid. And if I saw somebody, if I see a teammate that is rallying the rest of the team to drive to success with them, I mean, man, that's a beautiful thing right there.
Right, but what if they don't report to you directly? You got somebody down in the ranks who works for one of your managers. Do you send them away? No. You're going to talk to them, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to be, everybody wants to be around positive, building things. Or they want to be around the negative, degrading things.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody, I'm in the business myself of building things and growing things and making positive outcomes, not in the business of neutrality or negativity. And I think that that's what any and every business leader has. I mean, even in major corporations, everybody's looking for rising stars. They want to be part of a rising star team. They want to be in the champion club because they're usually champions themselves. And if you come walking in as a neutral, victimized, or negative being, that's why you're not successful.
So true. So hopefully people will listen to us.
Hopefully.
And take our advice.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't think we're just exploiter types.
No.
Who only want to suck the life force out of people and spit them out in to further our own greedy goals.
Mm-hmm.
So far from the truth.
Agreed.
So, well.
Great episode, man.
Time we got to wrap it up, buddy.
Yep. And Sour Patches were great today.
Coca-Cola was wonderful.
And the Aquafina.
Aquafina's great. Heroes Coffee next door.
Right next door.
To Podcast Videos. An amazing place. Every time I go in there, it's a hub.
The first person, I'm going to make a deal, the first person that emails us through our website, they get a free gift card to Heroes Coffee.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
All right. I just got a gift card from one of our prior guests.
Yeah. It's nice.
I mean, I can't believe it. He did that. It was very sweet.
It was really nice.
What a considerate guy. No wonder he's successful selling stuff.
He's networking.
You got it. All right.
Great episode of
Big Talk about Small Business.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Big Talk About Small Business. If you have any questions or ideas for upcoming shows, be sure to head over to our website, www.bigtalkaboutsmallbusiness.com, and click on the Ask the Host button for the chance to have your questions answered on the show. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn at Big Talk About Small Business. And be sure to head over to our website to read articles, browse episodes, and ask questions about upcoming shows.